if you look at intimacy from a very simplistic point of view, then if you take away the sex, and you start to look at intimacy as me being the most vulnerable version of myself with you, and me showing you everything that I am and you accepting it. And when we feel that type of connection, we naturally will feel intimately connected with another person. We will feel eye contact won't be a problem, because the reason why lots of people struggle with eye contact in intimacy is the bits that they're hiding. It's like through our eyes we are seen, and if I can't look at you in the eyes, it's probably because there's bits of me that I don't really want you to see. I'm hiding myself. So if you start to look at intimacy separately from sex and seeing intimacy just as pure vulnerability, then it starts to make sense that in order to be in an intimate relationship, it has to be one of acceptance. And I think a lot of people need to take like a long, hard look at their relationships and actually ask themselves, like, do I even accept this person? Like, am I lying to myself and staying in a relationship where there are absolutely parts of this person I don't accept? Because if you can't accept your partner as they are, even if you don't like bits of it, like, acceptance doesn't mean I love every bit of you. Acceptance just means you are still, even in all your flaws, you are still someone that I want to choose. I'd still rather have you than not. I can accept this. Like, if you're in a relationship with someone and maybe they aren't perfect, likelihood is they aren't. Maybe they're not as perfect as you'd want to be. Maybe they judge you a little bit more than you like. Maybe there's bits that make you feel a bit uncomfortable. Maybe there's things they do that you don't really like and they annoy you a bit. But can I accept it? Can I just say, well, that's you, that's you. I can deal with how that makes me feel, because overall this relationship is still something that I want more than it's something that I don't want. And when we start to find acceptance for another person, it is the most beautiful thing in the world, because all any of us really want is to feel like I can accept myself and someone else can see me fully and accept me too, because that creates this intimate connection that is special. Like, there's not many relationships in our life where we do feel that we can be completely ourselves. And that's where relationships get exhausting. That's when we start to feel all the pressure and all the feelings like, I need to be something else here in order to be good enough, because that's tiring of our energy. If you kind of start to look at your energy in terms of, when I'm being fully myself, I'm not using any energy, because no part of me is performing here. I'm just showing up as I am, and I'm being truthful. I'm not trying. I'm not making effort. I'm just being me. And just being ourselves is liberating and feels good. It doesn't feel tiring. You don't leave a situation with someone where you felt accepted and feel exhausted. You feel exhausted when you've performed. You feel exhausted when you've hidden bits of yourself and you thought, oh, I can't really be like that because that will bother them. I can't really show that part because that bit is a bit hard for them to hold, so I'm going to hold that in. Then we start to become this version that isn't who we are when we go to bed at night. It's not the person that we are when we're alone with ourselves fully. So we have to find a way of showing up fully, and then if that isn't accepted, then we choose, is this okay for me, or should I leave this relationship because actually it's exhausting me and I'm performing and I'm not myself here. And I think that is something that a lot of couples need to look at and decide, either we're going to work on this together or we need something else, because nobody thrives in a situation where they don't feel accepted. I think that when it comes to acceptance in a relationship, there's a lot of work to be done around trust and truth. So first, do I trust myself? Like, do I trust myself to be honest here? Can I share my truth with this person? And if I know that I am an honest, truthful person and that I'm saying everything I feel all the time, then I'm more likely to trust another person. So again, it's always coming from self. It's like, can I become that person first? And once I do become a person that is safe to myself, a person that is always sharing her feelings, and a person that never lies and tells the truth, even when it's painful, then it's a lot easier to start trusting other people, because trust is just a choice. And I think often it feels easier to not trust people, because if we assume the worst of everyone, it's a self-protection. It's like, if I've prepared myself for the worst, then when the worst comes, it's not going to hurt so much because I didn't really expect anything other than that. But that's a really negative way of looking at people, and that doesn't make us feel good. Like, choosing not to trust people feels bad in our body. It makes us feel insecure, it makes us feel unhappy. Whereas if we choose to trust until there's a reason not to trust, at least then we are generally in this really positive space. And sure, we might trust someone who then hurts us, and that trust can be broken. But until the point it's broken, then we are still choosing trust. And trust is just a choice. It may not feel like that. Often we tell ourselves, I need evidence. I need evidence that this person is trustworthy. I need them to prove it to me. We often say things like, prove that you're trustworthy. But simply, it is a choice. It's a choice. I'm going to trust you until you show me that I can't, rather than I'm not going to trust you until you prove to me that you can.